Hey, lovelies. How y'all doing? I don't want all my business in the street. Let's see. But welcome to Real Talk Live with Arnette. Beloved, once again, I come to you with a topic that most people do not like to talk about, honey. But we're going to talk about this topic on this day. And that topic is adultery. We're going to talk about some adultery today. And for some reason, I have had a few conversations about adultery lately. So I figured people want to talk about it. And I was actually reading on social media as well. People were saying, why do women mess with married men, right? And I've seen all kinds of reasons why. Because they're desperate, because they have low self-esteem, because, it always has something to do with the woman not loving herself. That was all the excuses or reasons why women mess with married men, what I was reading online. So I said, well, let me touch on this topic and make some corrections and all that stuff, because even though I don't want a married man, I can't say in my past I haven't been there. And so I'm an honest person. Anybody that know me know I'm transparent. I shoot from the hip. And when I did, it had nothing to do with low self-esteem. It had nothing to do with I couldn't get a man. It had nothing to do with all those excuses that I saw. It had everything to do with the fact that I didn't want to commit to anybody, and I didn't want nobody clinging on to me. And it was just easier for me to borrow him for a minute and send his hind parts right on back. Actually, and to be honest with you, because he knew he was on borrowed time, he used to men like to give gifts and, just a little remembrance that they was there, try to keep a spot. You know what I'm saying? So honestly, I was just tripping off of some of the reasons why people think that women mess with married men. And once again, let me say, I'm not justifying this. I don't agree with it at all. Leave people's husbands alone. But very seldom are women messing with married men because they're lonely or low self-esteem, all that stuff. Most of the time, these women don't want a commitment, and I know it's hard to believe that some women don't want commitments, but a lot of them don't. They don't want any connections. They don't want you checking in on them. They don't want to answer to you. They feel like if they mess with somebody's husband, you don't have a right to question them. You know what I'm saying? Now, sometimes, yeah, it's low self-esteem. Sometimes it's, they're lonely and all that stuff, but I don't know if y'all picked up my book. I have a book, okay? And my book is called But You're a Minister. And my book kind of outlines my mentality at the time in my 20s. And I had the mentality of a man. I had the mentality where I did not love. I didn't love, I did everything selfishly. Everything was for me. Whatever I wanted to do, I did. I didn't care who it hurt. I didn't care who it bothered. Long as I was benefiting in it, I did it for me. And so if I wanted to mess with a married man, that's what I did at the time. But don't just know that I might have messed with a married man here. I might have had a friend on the side. I was actually acting like a man. My mindset was like, I don't love him, and I'm just going to do what I want to do. So there are different reasons why women would do that. Now, I do want to say this to some of these women that might see this video. Honest and truthfully, there's no benefit in messing with anybody's husband. I'm telling you that right now. It's just really nasty, for one, to knowingly, deal with somebody's husband. And second of all, you're going to always be second. I don't care what he's saying. You're going to be second, third, fourth, fifth, or whatever. So I'm not exactly sure. You're going to have to be mentally prepared for that. But if you was like me, you really didn't care because you just, it was just something to do. That's another reason why women mess with people's husbands, because it's something to do. You know, I'm not trying to be cold, but I was cold. I was very, very, very cold. And sometimes that's all it is something to do. But that comes from hurt. That comes from you having bitterness inside of you. See, I told you I'm transparent, so I'm going to tell it all. It comes from a hurt. Where you've been hurt before, and now you're bitter. Now you don't care who you hurt, so you will hurt another woman as long as it makes you feel better. And so that's the type of thing that we need to think about when we say we're gonna, mess with this person that's already committed to someone else. Hold on, y'all, it's a little hot in here. That's already committed to someone else. We're gonna hurt somebody else because we hurt people, and that is so true. But I just want you to know that not necessarily does the woman have low self-esteem, because during the time that I did my thing, I didn't have low self-esteem. I ain't gonna lie, I was a brick house. I was fine. Pretty long hair. I was one of the prettiest chocolate women you could ever see. I had men all over the place. I had a brand new house I had built. Everything in my house was paid for. I had 2 cars. I would go to the drive-through, during that time, that was when the drive-through window first started. Me and my son would go through the drive-through window. People would pay for our food. I had no problem with my self-esteem, so please stop thinking that these women messing with these people's husbands because they have low self-esteem. Sometimes they have a little bit too much self-esteem where they think that they can have and do anything that they want to do, no matter who is going to affect. So my job now is to give you the reasons why you need to get your own man, and because I've been through it, I can tell you that it's not a good thing, because you better know during the times of the holidays, birthdays, and all that stuff, you will be by yourself if you don't plan correctly. If you don't make appropriate plans. See, I always had ram in the bush, what I'm saying? So I won't alone on the holidays. But when you do call yourself messing with somebody's husband, right, he is going to expect you to wait for him. That's why the gifts are coming. That's why the money is coming, because he expects that to substitute for the time that he has to be with his family. So he's going to give you these things. In return, he expects you to be by yourself when he's not with you. Now, see, I want that type of woman, So you can give me whatever you want, but when I wanted to be in the company of my gentleman friend, I'm going to be in the company of my gentleman friend, whether it's you or somebody else. And especially during the holidays. Now, and during the holidays, they have to be home. They have to go shopping. They have to go, take care of them kids and all that stuff. And so you're going to be sitting there looking crazy if you haven't planned appropriately. And if you don't have you a ram in the bush. And so I just want, for those women who think that they can do all this stuff and that they can, mess with people's husbands, you got to be mentally prepared for that. But why would you when you could just easily go get your own man? If it's not a self-esteem problem, if it's not a low self-esteem, if you just, just something to do, go get your own man. You'd be better for it. I'm telling you, you want somebody that that whenever you want to make a move, he's there to make a move with you, and not somebody you got to sit here and wait for him to say, I'll let you know if I can get away. What do you want that for? Why? If I can get away. Come on. I see what happens with absence make the heart grow fonder. So the more that he's away from you, the more you want him by you, the more you're thinking about him, the more you want him to be with you, and you start having these feelings that you should have for somebody else's husband, somebody that has committed himself to someone else. And don't get me wrong, yeah, the man is to blame, but a lot of times a man gonna be a man, and no excuse, because he made a decision and he needs to stick with it. But if you're willing and he's able, y'all gonna be willing and able together. And so the point of the matter is not to be willing, not to put yourself in that predicament where you are the other woman, because most of the time you women who cannot have that same mentality as a man like I did, I was just a different breed. I'm different now. For you that get connected, it's not going to work for you. It's not going to work for you. You're going to end up falling for somebody's husband. You're going to end up acting like a fool, and you're going to end up getting hurt or hurting somebody. So my thing is, get your own man. Stop messing with false husband. And you know what I noticed too, a lot of times these married men, they want you to run after them. They want you to chase them. Now that's the craziest thing I ever seen in my life. But you actually got these women out here chasing married men. You have these women calling them and texting them and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? That is desperation right there. Why would you chase somebody's husband? Why would you chase somebody's husband? Let me tell you, since I'm being honest, okay? I had somebody's husband that was attracted to me recently, you know. And but when I was talking to him, before I got to the "Are you married" part, because I'm gonna talk to you, you know. I'm a talker, or what is it? Or I can't even remember. Lord have mercy, but y'all know when I say I speak. Okay, and an orator. Okay, I speak, and so we talking, and I get down to the question: are you married? Right? Then you want to tell me that it's complicated. How is it complicated? That's a yes or no answer. Did you take a vow? Do you have a license that say that this is your wife and you are her husband? You know? And so, yeah, he was married. And then, so, you know, I'm already, in my mind, I'm like, okay, he married. It's off limits, you know? And so, but the thing is, as I was talking to him, he would say stuff like, oh, well, the objective is not to communicate and this and that. Bruh, first of all, I don't know what woman falls for that. Ladies, what kind of situation you want to be in when a man tells you that you're not going to communicate? He's not going to communicate with you. What kind of foolishness is that? See, if I'm going to talk to somebody's husband, this Negro can't be scared. You're not going to be scared to do the thing. You're not going to be scared to have a side piece. You're not going to be scared because at some point, you're going to have to pay some bills. You're going to have to do something to keep my mind occupied because my attention span is very short. And so if all I'm getting is every once in a while you calling talking about I'm free, that ain't going to help you or me. You know, so why would anybody want that type of situation? That's what I'm trying to ask you, ladies. Why would y'all want that type of situation anyway when you can go out and get you a man that's going to give you 24/7 his attention? When he's not working, he give you little calls. You can drop them little messages and all that stuff. You know, y'all play little games and stuff over the phone until you get to see him. Why wouldn't you want that? Why you want to be bothered with somebody else's mess? I don't understand. I don't. And I'm going to tell you one thing. If a married man ever think that you're supposed to be running behind him, that's a straight, other than the fact that he married is a red flag, but that's a big old red flag. What you look like running behind somebody's husband? That is the craziest thing I ever seen in my life. For a single woman to be running behind a married man, I never would I understand. Is that what's going on in 2023? Because see, back in my day, it was like in the 1900s. It was like 1990s and stuff like that. And I don't know nothing about running behind no married man, because for me, and always and forever, the man will pursue the woman. I don't care what it is. If he's married, if he's not married, in my mind, the man is supposed to pursue the woman. And as far as a married man, I can't even see myself even trying to pursue a married man. Let me tell you something. You are safe. Your husband is safe with me. If he has that mentality of where I gotta run behind him, baby, you don't worry about it. You're gonna be just fine when it comes to me. I don't want your man. I don't want your man, and definitely don't want him to know where I'm going to run behind him, be calling him, and what's up, why you ain't call me? Because you married, and I know you married, so why I want you to call me, okay? See, I'm trying to talk to these ladies that think that that's a good thing when you're out here messing with married men. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. It's not going to help you. It's not healthy. It's going to make you feel lower than low, you know what I'm saying? Because most of us don't know how to do this thing. And I'm not here to teach you how to do it. I'm here to prevent you from doing it, because I know how it can be. And all you're going to do is just make things worse for yourself. I had a friend when I was stationed in the military. I had a friend when I was in the military, I had a friend who got shot down by her, well, I don't know if they ever found the killer, but it was allegedly her husband that she was divorcing, and she was with another man, and she was trying to move on, and one day he caught her before she went to work, and he shot her down in her car. Okay, and beautiful. When I tell you she was beautiful, she was beautiful, but that beauty did not stop that rage that that man possessed over her. And just like he did that, that can happen either way, vice versa. It don't matter, male, woman, female. When you start messing with somebody's heart, pulling on their tugging on their heart, you just don't know what you will cause. And is it worth it? Is messing with a married man worth it? Is messing with somebody's husband worth your life? Is it worth your life? I don't think so. So go out and find your own man, or wait for him to find you. He will find you. You got to put yourself out there to be seen. You can't, a man is not going to find you. He's not going to find you in your house. You got to get out and do some things. You got to make yourself available. You got to show people that you exist. And then you find a man that way, or they find you. I always say they find you. I'm telling you, I'm old school. I do not look for men. I do not go out chasing men. And even if I see one that I like, I'm not going to say a thing to him. Because it's not about me running behind a man. It's about who chooses me. The man chooses the woman. The man chooses the woman. And that's why I feel like if a man has chosen a woman to be his wife, if he's chosen a woman to be his wife, so may it be. Let that happen. Leave it alone. Don't chase that man. Let that man be a good man to his wife. At least don't you come between that. And let me tell y'all a story. I'll never forget when I was young, because I thought I was fine now. Like I said, it had nothing to do with self-esteem. It had everything, for me, it was just too much self-esteem. And I was dating this man who supposedly had been separated or was leaving his wife, or however. And you can't say you was dating him, because the bottom line is he was married. And he would say, I'm going to do this, and I want you to be by my side. I want you to be with me and all that stuff. And see, in my mind, all I could say is, you an adulterer. Regardless of what y'all going through, you still married. I'm not getting to be with you. And so my question to you is, for those ladies who want to date people's husband, don't you think that they're going to do the same thing to you? Or do you not think they're going to do the same thing to you? Do you think you're different? Do you think you bring something different to the table that they won't turn on you, or they won't step out on you? I can guarantee you you're not. I can guarantee you you're not, because just like you're young and younger than the wife, and they stepped out with you on their wife, check this out. They'll step out with somebody younger on you. And you know what'll happen? It'll come to you even harder, because you know what? You will be married to this person. That's then somebody sending papers to your house talking about they having a baby. It'll come back to you. You're going to reap what you sow. See, I'm here to tell you from my experience what not to do, or what you should think about not doing, right? I can't tell you what to do, but I can give you some advice and let you know that it's not a good thing messing with somebody's spouse. What you should do, my advice, is just to wait for someone for you. Date someone for you, somebody who is available. That's what you should be doing, but not sitting here trying to play with people's emotions, because even the person that you're cheating with, even if they're married, sometimes they can't control their emotions. You don't really know who you're dealing with. That'll be the person that pop you. And when I say pop you, I mean put a cap in you. You never know. You can't play with these people's emotions. A lot of times when they tell you, listen, I don't want nobody else over here when I'm here, and you still saying you're married, you can't tell me what to do, baby, you don't know what is going on through that person's head. Because in their mind, I'm risking what I have at home to see you, and you out here still flirting and cheating and, seeing other people. And that right there could be detrimental to your life. And so my question is it worth it? Is it really worth it? I done had a lot of men respect me more because I tell them, listen, I don't want to mess with a married man. I think you need to redirect all that energy back to your wife, back to your marriage, try to make whatever's going wrong in your marriage, make it work. You know, I done had people's husband tell me that they love me. I'm telling you, this year. And you know what I tell them? That is inappropriate. I need for you to stop saying that, because that's not what you should be saying to me. That's what you should be saying to your wife. You know, sometimes a little redirection. I'd rather them get mad at me for redirecting them than for me to be in some drama, me to be in a little love entanglement, me to get hurt. What I look like getting hurt over somebody else's husband, or getting embarrassed, getting in a fight over somebody's husband. That is the most ridiculous thing that I think anybody could face. You out trying, force this man. Look, you don't force this man to take you to the movies and take you out to eat to show that he really care about you. Next thing you know, you getting boxed at the movies or at the dinner table because you're with somebody's husband. Doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense when you can actually pursue or wait for someone that's single to pursue you, and he can take you out to eat and take you to a movie and have fun and dancing and all that stuff, and you ain't got to worry about his wife coming up to you. I mean, really, you're going to fight somebody's wife? You know, I always say, no, I wouldn't fight anybody's wife, but I'm going to protect myself. But it's still the same thing. It's still the same thing. You were wrong all the way through. Even though he was wrong, they going to come up to you. They always come to the woman. I remember when I was dating this guy, he wasn't even married. It was crazy. We was in the NCO club in Schofield Barracks in Hawaii. Well, we weren't on Schofield Barracks. We was on a Navy base. It was in Hawaii. And the girl came to me. I don't know anything about you. You a side piece, apparently just like I am. And I don't know anything about you, but you approached me instead of approaching him. And that's the same thing with the wife. The wife is going to approach you, sisters. They're going to approach you. And what do you look like fighting this woman over her husband? What do you look like? Because everybody ain't going to be like me and be like, do you know he's married? Because that'll be my first word. Do you know he's married? Well, you know he is now. And that is your first go. I'm going to let you go with that. But if I ever was to see you with my husband again, there's no more warning, okay? It's going to be on sight. And that's how those women feel. But some of them, it's going to be on sight from the first time. Is it really worth it? Is it really worth it? But I just want people to know, because like I said, I read all this stuff, and the woman must have low self-esteem, and she must be desperate, and she must be lonely. Not so all the time, no. Sometimes it's just something to do. It is something to do, okay? I don't want a relationship. I don't want a commitment. So I'll just deal with him a little bit over here until I feel like I'm moving on. But you mess around and it be too late and his emotions all involved, because just because they married don't mean that they don't have, they can't get an emotional attachment to you. And so now you done got his emotions involved in the thing, and next thing you know, you got a problem. Because you got a man that belongs to this woman over here that's trying to regulate what you do over here. Okay? Just pay attention to it. Be careful what you do. It's not worth it. I'm telling y'all, it's been the list. Let me tell you, I thought I was moving in stealth. In stealth mode, baby. In 1 year, I was, like I said, I was in my 20s, maybe my early 30s, and I thought I was the everything. I thought I could do and have anybody I want, right? And I thought I was moving, under the radar. Nobody knew my business, but people can tell. People can tell when something out of whack. And this girl was at work. I was messing with this guy at work. And the first one, the girl took me from one side of the department all the way to the other side of the department, and she showed me this wall with all these pictures on it. Pictures out galore. She pointed out this lady in particular, and she said, She didn't ask me what I was doing. All she said was, you see that right there, that lady right there? I said, yes. She said, if you see her coming towards you, you need to be ready. And I said, okay. And we walked right back to the other side of the apartment. What she had done was showed me the man's wife, because she could tell that that man had a connection to me. He could not leave me alone. He was bringing me lunch. He was bringing me breakfast. Me personally, I was a champ with it. But he had already had a connection. You know, he had already had feelings in it and all that stuff. So you can't control all the time how the next person is going to feel. And being that she could see through it, she didn't know whether somebody else could see through it. She just was trying to give me a heads up on what was going to happen. So then what happened was this other lady that was messing with him, I guess apparently before me, who was still attached to him. It was crazy. I'm telling y'all, this is how this mess get blown out of proportion. The other lady said she wanted to talk to me, right? Okay, me. And I'm like, okay, we're going to talk. And so we go to a little secluded area and we talking. And she was like, well, I want to talk to you about so-and-so. And I said, wait a minute, hold on. You called me in here to talk to me about somebody's husband? And she was like, yeah. I said, no, I don't know what this is about. Oh, you know what this is about? I'm like, no, I don't, because he belongs to somebody. He's somebody else's husband. Why me and you talking? See, and that's what I'm saying. You don't know how people are going to react to certain things. And this was a side piece trying to talk to another side piece about somebody else's husband, right? And I'm like, this lady is out of her mind. But she really wasn't out of her mind. She had an attachment, an emotional attachment. I was the one playing games. I was the one that wasn't serious. You know what I'm saying? And so sometimes when I sit back and think about the stuff that I did when I was young, I'm like, was it worth it? Was it worth it? Because for somebody to take you to the side and say they want to talk to you, ain't no telling what she was prepared to do. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't no little woman even at the time. I was little. Y'all, I wasn't always this size. And that was a little thing. And that woman was super tall, like an Amazon. Like, you know, like the woman that Wonder Woman supposed to be on big ones. That's how she was huge. She was a big woman, you know. Now, I ain't playing about my thing. Now, I was 42. I don't care. But the thing was, why would I be fighting a side piece over somebody's husband? That's the craziest thing to me. But she was adamant about me and her sitting down talking about this man. And I'm like, what? This is some craziness, you know? And so, did I stop messing with him? Eventually I did. I did stop messing with him. And then, and I used the excuse that you are married. I can't, you know, do this anymore, you know. Don't want to do this to your wife and all that stuff. Y'all, let me tell you. He got a divorce. He got a divorce and he came back. And he was like, listen, I'm divorced now and we can be together. And I was like, no. Because see, I was playing the whole time. And see, and when I tell you, when I told him no, that thing was so upset. I mean, he could have strangled me. But I'm like, I know you ain't get no divorce with me. Y'all was already going through stuff. And I already ended it. What is the problem? You know? But that's why you should not be playing with people's emotions, playing with people's feelings. Because the guy was crazy too, because he used to take medicine too. I used to take that medicine, big head medicine. And he could have really done something to me, and he would have got away with it too, you know, because everybody knew he had some issues. Everybody but me knew he had some issues. And so it's just not worth it, okay? First of all, messing with somebody's husband is not worth it. Second of all, playing with people's emotions is not worth it. It's not worth it. When you go into a relationship, be real, be true. You know, if you're not looking for something, let them know. I'm not looking for that. I don't want anything with you. I just need a friend. Or I just want a friend. Be true. And if you if you want more than a friend, let them know from off the rip that you want more than a friend. If you're not honest with each other and honest with yourself, you're not going to get what you deserve and what you're looking for. You have to be honest in a relationship. You have to come out and say, this is what I want. Me personally, I don't have a problem. Now, I used to, when I was young, I used to bite my tongue and not say what I want and just kind of wait. Okay, I'm trying. Okay, trying to wait for the person to make the first move and all that stuff. Now, as far as the moves, I'm not gonna pursue a man, but if we're entangled or we're already past that point, I'm gonna definitely let them know what I want, what I'm looking for, and what I'm not looking for, and that is how you make sure everything is clear. But you better know what you're looking for, because when you start telling them you don't want this, you don't want that, and they give you what you want, and then you really did want something out of it, it's gonna be too late. Because once they get that mindset that you don't want what they want, they're gonna continue to search for what they want, what they're looking for. So if you want a relationship, let them know you want a relationship. If you want kids and he doesn't, go ahead and let him know, hey, I want children. Don't change up and say, I don't need kids right now. No, tell him, I eventually want a family. I want children. I got people calling me and stuff. But yeah, you want to make sure that you're honest. That's the key, to be honest. Okay. And so if you're going into a relationship where there's another person involved, a woman, another wife, I said another wife. I'm going to tell you about that in a minute, then I'm going to close out. A woman, and he has a wife, you're already being dishonest, okay? And it's nothing going to come out of that relationship. And then if he does leave her, do you really want that person? He's a doggone adulterer. Do you want that person? Because are you going to be looking over your shoulder all the time, worried about what he's doing? Is he doing the same thing with you that he did, or doing the same thing to you that he did with you? Now, real quick, let me tell y'all this. Just last year, this stuff is, I'm telling you, this stuff, I can't write this stuff up. I was I was talking to this guy. I wasn't messing with him because I ain't on that level anymore back, where I'm dealing with a bunch of men and all that stuff. That's not me anymore. But I was talking to this guy, and he wanted me, this is the craziest thing, y'all, he wanted me to be one of his wives. He was already married, and he had 2 wives, and he was going to divorce them and make me wife number 1, and then he was going to get him 1 to 2 more wives, right? So I'm trying to figure out, I'm asking all types of questions because that's what I do, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do when you with wife 2 and 3? You know what I'm saying? And he's like, well, you can whatever you want. You can join, you can watch us, you can this. I'm like, whoa. That's not me. I'm not that, and so I was honest with him right off the rip. We really never got anywhere. We talked for a few months, but we really never got anywhere. Why? Because I was honest. There are some women who was settled, and I'm not going to lie, this dude was fine as all outdoors, big. I mean, long dress, tall. I mean, just like I like him. The enemy, which is the devil, I'm going to give him the credit for that because he knew exactly what I like. And he said what I liked, but I could not cave in. I could not accept that foolishness because I don't want to be a first wife. I don't want to be one of his wives. And what am I supposed to do with my coins? I'm like, am I supposed to put all my coins with y'all coins? And that way everybody, y'all living better than me? I don't understand where my money supposed to go. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm fine by myself when it comes to my coins. So if I'm giving y'all my coins, am I going to be struggling or I'm going to, how this work? Because I couldn't figure out how it worked because it seemed to me like I was going to take my checks and put it in his account and he was going to divvy out stuff and pay bills and stuff like that. with part of my check. And I'm going to tell y'all something like that. I ain't that type of chick. I ain't going to be in no kitchen cooking with no woman like we sister wives and all that stuff. I'm not going to do that. And I'm definitely not going to appreciate you buying her a gift with my coins, because if anybody get a gift, I better have one too. You're going to buy 2 gifts, because if you don't, I'm tearing something up. That house going to be tore up. I told every Friday I'll be fighting somebody. Every Friday, I'm going to fight somebody. I'm like, I can't live like that, honey. I can't share. I don't have that sharing spirit. Some of y'all, don't get me wrong, you do what you want to do. I'm just not that type. I'm not going to share my husband with anybody. I'm not going to be first wife. Okay? And then you go get you 2 or 3 more. And then, you know, I'm probably going to be the oldest one. I ain't had no more cheers, so you probably going to get you a couple more. That's childbearing age. No, sir. I'm not babysitting nobody's kids. That ain't gonna happen. But that's the kind of stuff that's going on now. And to each his own. Don't get me wrong. I don't care what you do. If you happy, you're happy. I'm just not gonna do it. And what I'm saying is, if it's something that you're not gonna do, make sure you put it out. Make sure you say, hey, this is not for me. I am not that type of person. I don't want a relationship like that. That's all I'm saying, okay? And I want you to remember now, when you mess with somebody's spouse, you're asking for some pure drama. You're asking for emotions to come up that you don't want, and you're not going to be able to control. You're not going to be able to control that other person, and they're always going to go back to their family, especially Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. I promise you that. You're going to be sitting there lonely and talking about what do the lonely do at Christmas if you don't do right. So get your own spouse, get your own man or woman, and leave other people's property alone, okay? Y'all, thank y'all for joining on Real Talk Loud on that D-Love. May God bless you real, real good. Until we shall meet again, you have a wonderful, wonderful week. Take care.